So let's show you how you can create a purchase order in Zahara. The first thing you're going to do from any screen is click on Create and then click on Purchase Order. The top half of the screen, basically above the line items, is you choosing the values like the supplier. So that's the very first thing you need to do, is choose which supplier is going to get your purchase order. So I'm going to choose Adobe Systems. It's automatically populated by division, who I belong to. It knows who I am. It's got my default currency, which I can override. And in terms of the email that I want the purchase order to go to, if you've got more than one email listed for the supplier, then you can choose that email as well. I could put the whole purchase order against a project if I wanted to, or I can leave that blank and do it on an individual line item basis. You have the choice of making the purchase order inclusive of tax, so everything you buy is at the gross price, and then if you choose a tax code it will calculate the net for you, or you do it at net plus tax. So let's do it the kind of net plus tax way to start with. So custom fields, if you go into that accordion there and expand it, any custom fields that you've created will be here available for you to change or populate. But I'm going to go into the line items. Now I can just type a line item out, or I can choose a product that I may have preset against that supplier. So I'm going to choose Photoshop, and I click plus next to Photoshop up here, and it's dropping Photoshop onto the line item. So the description is populated, the price is populated, the tax code and the nominal code. I can override that if I want to. I can just cross it and choose the one I want. I'll go with 6201 advertising. If I wanted to add a new line item, then I can click add new line down here. If I was doing a one line item purchase, I would just click continue at this point. But let's put another one in. So I could either choose another product, like Photoshop Elements or Lightspeed. What I shall do though is I will click on add new line item, and I will just type out the word shipping. I will put £10 in, and it's going against materials purchased, and it's populated a cost code because it knows that that's the default cost code for this particular division. So I've now got two line items, and if I wanted to see what they both look like, I could do this. If I had any warnings about line items, so this one here is giving me a warning, I could go back in and edit it, or I could delete it, and therefore my warning is gone. If I wanted to bulk update the line items, I can select them, I can click on update line items, and I could do something like set the cost code to one value and then bulk change both of the line items in one go. You may have noticed also that if you click into this view here, you can import from a CSV as well. So if you wanted to import our a bunch of line items, you can do that in one go. You would download our template, populate it, then import it back in. So we've got two line items now. We go back to our table view. We've got two line items, they're all coded, the descriptions are right, so I'm going to click on continue. So if you have a budget set, and you can use Zahara for budgets, then the budget will be displayed, and I can expand it to show my two line items which have budgets against them. One is, I've got a purchase order value of £900, an available spend in the budget of £2,900, and the other one I've got a purchase order value of £10, line item value that is, against a budget of £5,000. So I'm within budget on both of those, so I can click continue. The delivery address is preset for me. It's a setting under business and settings, but you can override the address and choose any address that you've ever delivered to in the past. So if I wanted to change it to 10 Green Street, I would just click use this address. The required date is the date that you might want to put on your purchase order when you want to have the goods received. It can also be used as an accrual or for forward kind of planning, etc. So I'm going to leave it as the default, which is tomorrow, and I'm going to click on continue. I've now got some chance of adding in some comments, so I could put a comment in here for the approver, like need this for tomorrow, urgent, and I could put a comment in for the supplier, like need this tomorrow, please. And then if I wanted to add any supporting documents, it could be a quote that I want the approver to look at, then I could do that. I could just browse to my files or drag over a PDF or that kind of document. And if I had the permission to change the workflow, I could do down here, but typically what you'll do is you will create a workflow for your buyers, and they will have no choice in that. Me, I've got all the permissions. I can choose which workflow I want to use, but I'm going to use the obvious one, which is order approval. I click on continue. I get a summary view of my purchase here. I've got my delivery address, I've got the comments for the supplier, I've got my custom fields, I've got my line items. I can see from here the nominal codes, the cost codes, etc. If I wanted to, I could save it as a draft and come back to it later. I could flick this switch on here and go into power mode and create another one straight after, but I'm just going to click create purchase order. And once the purchase order is created, it will be in the purchase orders list view, like this one here. So PO2018 is the one I've just created. We can see that the approval is in process. So if I click onto that, it's going to the department head for approval, and then it will end up at the last step if it's approved, which will be to send the purchase order to the supplier. So this is a standard kind of workflow that we show people in demonstrations. If I wanted to go back into the purchase order, I would just click into it and I would have everything here. And then under my actions menu, I can edit it, I can download it, and I can send it on to the supplier as well. So that is a quick overview of purchase orders. I hope that's been useful for you. Thank you.